Thank you, Clarice. I hope you can hear me now.
Sure, sir.
I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Yeah, I don't know if it was from your side or mine. However, I listened from the perspective of law. First thing first, we need to see what does the law say in, in terms of election. Because all the participants, all the candidates sign an agreement onto how they will go about the whole process till the end. And they cannot break it. Now, how does it go? People find that only the constitutional court can proclaim the result. Unfortunately, the person who is supposed to, according to himself, to be one of the favorites cannot go against the law that we are facing right now, because by self-proclaiming himself a winner and later telling people that he is still awaiting the results from the polling station, what does that mean? He was just taking a chance. Because if you are sure that you have had enough people on the site to count for you, to represent you, your interest will not be in any sort of danger. But now, that's so we will put it aside because it's something that already happened. We can't go back to it. What happened in Changsu came to indicate that the Cameroonian opposition, most of the time, they are not intelligent enough to know what is the danger of what they are doing. If you believe that you have won somewhere in a particular area, and you go there and steal the PV of your own victory and put it out of the system, you have nullified your own victory in that particular place. That's the law. Because only the PV that came from Elecam should be accepted by the Constitutional Council. They could have gone there to verify, maybe take a picture of it, because all the there is no way you can sign a PV and somebody else comes and say the PV you have signed has a different result from the one that you have. It's not possible.
It is.
I have seen samples of PV.
I don't know what Dr. Allen is talking about.
Were shooting the pictures of it and sending to me.
It is.
Many people were sending the pictures of PV to me, explaining to me through those PV that Chiruma has 1 year. Yeah. Chiruma has 1 year, and Chiruma to be taken to what they call to the Constitutional Council later. And why do they wait for 15 days? Because there is a kind of electoral dispute that needs to take place. People have concern. People have written to reserve their right to pursue the matter further after the election because they have observed some irregularity and everything. So what is the case? Would they resolve that kind of issue after the proclamation of results, or will they resolve that before the proclamation? But I believe they have to do it before, so that the person who is proclaimed winner, they know that they have at least taken knowledge of everything and assess all the matters and come to a conclusion before proclaiming a result. In many other places, people will complain, but they will not consider it. They will proclaim the result and then go through the process to check who was right or who was wrong, and most of the time it does not affect the result anymore. The proof is we have never seen any country where they proclaim somebody elected and after they say, no, it was a mistake. We have seen that they were fraud this way and this way. They don't do that. So why would we want to rush towards a result before dealing with the dispute when we can easily deal with dispute and reach a result?
Okay.
Let me stay with you, Mr. Alain Roche. While we're asking the question is because of the evidences that we found as a result of a fraud in some polling stations that we mentioned that in our preamble. And according to the analysis presented already by the co-panelists, there are evidences or previous evidences of such cases of fraud. And that is where we want to ask this question, the place of law, and then Cameroon's internal political tactics, which are actually largely has a negative connotation as per the critics, and where we find ourselves at this juncture. Do you think there is need to follow the right trajectory with the evidences at hand? Alan Roche?
You see, Clarice, the evidence is something. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you, please.
Can you hear me, Clarice?
Sure.
Okay. In law, there is something that is called the law of evidence. If you have the proof that somebody has defrauded the result of the election in your area, you have the possibility to first refuse to sign the report of the voting of the polling station unless you write in it as your own remark. And when you do so, that same report will reach the Constitutional Court with that remark. Because when you do so, you have a copy you go back with. There is no need to fight over it because you cannot decide. You just have to make your observation and you say, on this particular matter, I have my own reservation because of 1, 2, 3. You give your reason. Now, sometimes you will see that sometimes in some areas, they nullify the vote. They say, okay, because there were too many irregularities and the people who were competing, they cannot come to an agreement.
Is that possible?
So we cancel in that area and continue. They do that. They do so in Cameroon. Many times they have done it. Many times they have done it in Cameroon. Even in 2018, they have nullified elections in many areas because people denied the result. They said they did not sign, they don't want it. So it's possible. But now the problem is, today people are breaking up everything and themselves have no evidence of whether they have won or they did not. Because if they had evidence, they would be just accumulating those evidences to go for the dispute, post-election dispute.
All right.
But because they know they have no evidence, they are breaking everything. And at the end of the day, people will be arrested. And they will have to investigate until they reach the people who gave them orders. We could avoid that, Larry.
Okay.
I had to say something after one of our co-panelists made some remarks about fraud. I wanted to say, when we speak of evidence of fraud, there is something in terms of search for evidence. If you claim that somebody has committed a fraud, and in your own behavior, you commit the same, your evidence can never be accepted. And that's exactly another mistake that people who support Issa Chiruma did. They falsified the document, the letterhead of the UNDP, and they wrote to Issa Chiruma a letter to congratulate him from the Secretary General of UNDP. Pierre Flambon-Gayet had to go on TV and demonstrate methodically that a fraud has taken place. Everything. They have imitated everything and did it. That could be considered Constitutional Court. Yes, that the party of Issa Chiruma, any evidence that they have may have been fabricated. because they have fabricated something that was not even necessary.
But how
What was the reason behind writing a letter to themselves on behalf of UNDP?
Dr. Ale,
how do you know that?
Let's
Dr. Ale.
allow the let's
That
allow
can be
Mr.
used
Alain Gacha
in terms
to
of
bring forth.
because
I'll
they
come
can
back to you,
falsify that too.
Mr. Ike. Let's listen to
And
Alain
those
Bush,
are
please.
things
Please.
that they don't know. They just go ahead and start doing or civil unrest and all those things. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, they are committing crimes that are just compiling a lot of evidence against themselves. They need to know that before the election, we had to consider certain factors in terms of statistics. The distribution of seats in the parliament, in the Senate, in the cities, council, and all those things, and the membership of parties could indicate clearly who was having privilege, advantage over others. We have 8,500,000 people who are registered to vote in a country of 26 million, close to 30 million people. We don't ask ourselves a question. Why is it that only 8 million people in Cameroon vote? When there are 26 million of people, 20 million are not happy, certainly, but they are not voting. What I would say is, I listened to the co-panelist from the US who was mentioning the impact that could continue on the whole sub-region of Central Africa, SEMA, and beyond that. It's true, but how do we go about it will determine whether such impact will the reason why a person like President Biya had to remain in power for so long is not because he wanted to stay in power. I bet to tell people today that it's not because he likes power that he stayed there. He had a mission. Aijo committed a mistake, acknowledge that mistake, and the person who helped him understand how to get out of it was Obia. And that mistake to be corrected had to go until 2008 for the refusal of renewal of the colonial agreement between France and Cameroon, and its enforcement from 2010, which made a person like Marafat to go to jail